good everyone, I'm Paul the Nitro Skyrus. Welcome once again to another edition of the Nitro Corner. Today is Friday and it is time for part one of our weekend report, and believe me folks, it is loaded, and I mean loaded. Today we'll have the Monday Night Raw report first, then Impact from last night, and then a loaded Nitro Opinion. I've got a lot to load off my chest, and that includes a programming note for this weekend. So, and a spoiler alert, so to speak, about Pro Wrestling Illustrated. Excuse me. So let's get right into it with the Monday Night Raw report. Raw last started out with Triple H coming out to ringside, the career politician, and stating that he has vowed that he will not step down as Raw GM. Oh really? Great show of solidarity. Meanwhile, outside of the building, in the parking lot, looks like the cheapest walkout I've ever seen in my entire life. All the superstars that hate Triple H's GM, including their lawyer, spokesperson, David Ortonga, is out there with the cheapest looking grill I've ever seen. Looks like it got bought at Dollar General. Anyway, it looks so cheap and pathetic, it ain't even funny. They call it their Solidarity Rally. Oh, I got a few words for the Solidarity Rally, but I'm going to save it for the Nitro Opinion in just a few moments. Next up, John Cena battled it out with Sheamus, but it ended in a no contest. No contest as Mr. McMahon comes out there and interrupts the proceedings. He calls out Triple H and says that him being COO of running Monday Night Raw, so to speak, could be a financial catastrophe. Where you see that at? They ain't going broke. Anyway, because of that, the board of directors is scared. Ooh, they're really scared. Oh, come on. They got enough money to last them a lifetime. Anyway, he had no other choice but to relieve Triple H of his duties as Raw GM. Well, really, he didn't want the job anyway. Oh, no, duh. Please, he's a career politician. Come on, people. Anyway, he decides now that there's going to be an interim GM. Now, hope you're in your seats, folks. Get ready for this. That's right. The interim GM is none other than Road Warrior Animal's brother, John Laurinaitus. Oh, what a tremendous decision that is. Are you serious? Is someone slipping some acid in the Kool-Aid today? John Laurinaitis come out there all big and bad now that he's Raw GM. Are you serious? Like I said, is someone slipping acid in the Kool-Aid again? Are you serious? Give me a break with that. That's ridiculous. It'll be even more ridiculous later on in the show. Next up, Christian defeated John Morrison one-on-one. Christian continues on his winning ways as part of the Solidarity Rally and must have been real inspired by Triple H being fired. Next up, Randy Orton defeated Mark Henry by disqualification in an intense battle because Cody Rhodes interfered. Cody Rhodes laid out Randy Orton after getting the world's strongest slam from Mark Henry, and then Cody Rhodes put the paper bag on Randy Orton and says, "You want a receipt with that?" Nice line by Cody Rhodes. Certainly moving up in the WWE rankings, Cody Rhodes. But he's going to have to deal with Randy Orton down the road. Next up, Kelly Kelly and Eve Torres defeated Tamina and Rosa Mendes. You can bet Kelly Kelly's still looking for Beth Phoenix and the Divas title. Next up, the interim GM, Road Warrior Animal's brother, John Laurinaitis, comes out there walking big and bad and bold. He stated that the main event for Vengeance will be John Cena versus Alberto Del Rio for the WWE title. What, for the 4th, 5th time? Come on now. Can we get original with this? Anyway, and then he calls good old JR in the ring, and he proceeds to fire him. You're an ingrate. You're an Oklahoma ingrate. You walked out on Triple H. You're an ingrate. That means you're fired. Wish you well in your future endeavors, but you're fired. So JR basically walks out with class, not saying anything to Mr. Laurinaitis, but believe me, the Kool-Aid drinking Road Warrior Animal's brother, whatever, as interim GM is absolutely ludicrous and insane. Like I said, who slipped the acid in the Kool-Aid that made that decision? Give me a break. Next up, Air Boom teamed up with Mason Ryan to defeat Dolph Ziggler, Jack Swagger, and the attorney, David Ortunga. Good victory for Air Boom after getting embarrassed this past Friday on SmackDown to come up with a big win in a 6-man tag team matchup. And also look out for Mason Ryan in the near future. Next up, the main event saw Alberto Del Rio and CM Punk reluctantly forming a team to beat The Miz and R-Truth by disqualification. Talk about reluctancy. Alberto Del Rio walks out on CM Punk. Well, Del Rio, we didn't need your Mexican aristocratic behind out there in the first place. Mr. All Up at the Up, give me a break. Well, CM Punk tried to take it to The Miz and R-Truth, but then Del Rio, like the slime ball he is, jumps CM Punk from behind. And then Triple H, the career politician, comes and makes a save. And now it's going to be Triple H and CM Punk. That's right. I still can't believe it is coming out of my mouth. Triple H and CM Punk as a team against The Miz and R-Truth. Why? Where's the revolution? This is what we were talking about in the first place. Now they're a team. Are you serious? Who slipped the acid in the Kool-Aid, people? Unreal. And that ended Raw for this week. You know what? I'm not even going to give an opinion about Monday Night Raw. Oh, it was good. It was bad. Believe me, folks, who slipped the acid in the Kool-Aid? Forget it. I'm not even giving an opinion of Raw this week. Sorry, it ain't happening. So, let me calm myself down a little bit. Let me go to Impact from this past Thursday night. A difference between night and day, so to speak, with TNA Impact from this past Thursday night from Knoxville, Tennessee. Start out with Kurt Angle promo. He agreed to it would be one-on-one with Bobby Roode after Roode requested that. Well, Kurt Angle decides to pull a one-on-one Bobby Roode. He booked him in a handicap match for the main event against Gunner and Jeff Jarrett. Should be very interesting. We'll talk about that in a minute. Next up, AJ Styles and Rob Van Dam defeated Christopher Daniels and Jerry Lynn in a pretty good tag team match. Christopher Daniels in the end left Jerry Lynn high and dry for the loss, but Christopher Daniels had the last lap as he jumped AJ Styles in the parking lot and told him he'd get ready for Philadelphia for the I Quit match coming up at Bound for Glory. I'll have more information about Bound for Glory coming up in the Nitro Opinion. Next up, Matt Morgan with a big victory, a surprise victory over Samoa Joe, but then Samoa Joe attacked Matt Morgan until Crimson made the save, and now it is going to be a triple threat match, Crimson versus Matt Morgan versus Samoa Joe at Bound for Glory. Then Mexican America comes out there and says, yo, we're going to pimp you out. We're going to pimp you out for 2 bowls of soup and what else did he say for 2 bowls of soup? Some Kool-Aid, I guess, some Kool-Aid. Well, Inc. comes out there, didn't like that comment, so they went ahead and they attacked Mexican America. Mexican American had the advantage with the women until this female wrestler, not identified, looked like Inc's buddy with the spiked hairdo, nice touch, took out the Sarita and Rosita of Mexican America. It's going to be real interesting to see that tag team title match at Bound for Glory. Next up, Karen Jarrett's pep talk. You know what? I'm going to save that for the Nitro Opinion. So I got a few choice words for her. Then, next up, my boy, Mr. Anderson defeated Scott Steiner thanks to a miss cue by the Monster Abyss. Now Abyss is out of Immortal as he was jumped by Bully Ray, Gunner, and Jeff Jarrett. Mr. Anderson tried to make the save, but Bully Ray attacked him, put him through a table. It's going to be real interesting to see what happens when these two meet in that Falls Count Anywhere match. Then in the main event, Bobby Roode pulls it out yet again as he defeats Jeff Jarrett and Gunner, forcing Gunner to submit. But then he was attacked by the rest of Immortal, including Kurt Angle. James Storm tried to come in there, but he got overwhelmed by the numbers game until Jeff Hardy comes out and cleans house. And Jeff Hardy says he'll have his ticket ready for Bound for Glory. And then, of course, the contract signing, it is now official. Hulk Hogan and Sting come out there, sign their little contract, and Hulk Hogan comes out there and says, "You're going to face the real Hulk Hogan, brother." Like I said last week, Hulk Hogan, the biggest liar in professional wrestling. There is no real Hulk Hogan. I don't see it. But then Hulk Hogan jumps Sting from behind and says, "Oh, that's the real Hulk Hogan?" He jumps Sting from behind. It's going to be real interesting to see those two battle it out at Bound for Glory. And that was Impact for this week. Impact was a very good show. Like I said, it was between night and day with that ridiculous joke that is Monday Night Raw for this week. Now that I got all the business out of the way, let's get into the loaded, and I mean loaded, Nitro Opinion for this week. First, I want to give an update on the interactive question I posed last week as to whether Triple H should get a thumbs up or a thumbs down for a vote of confidence. Well, we got one. JJ888844 channel chimed in and said that he gave a thumbs up to Triple H, stating that he's not the one causing all the problems. Real interesting comment, and I can see where you're coming from with that. Maybe someone else behind the scenes, maybe our new interim GM, John Laurinaitus, might have something to do with it. I can understand where you're coming from on that, and thank you for sending in your comment. Also, gave me kind of an idea, Mr. JJ888844. He also asked me this week, what is your top 5 best tag teams of all time? So what I'm going to do for you, JJ888844 channel, and this is the first of the programming notes, this Saturday night I'm going to switch the classic match of the week, which is normally set for Sundays. I'm moving it for 1 week only to Saturday, a special edition of the classic match of the week. I will not only reveal to you my top 5 tag teams of all time, but I will have a match featuring my 5 choices. It should be real interesting. Check it out Saturday night right here on the Rest 101 channel. The Nitro Corner's Classic Match of the Week special, the top 5 tag teams of all time. Alright, let me get started. Let's continue on with the 1CW update again. I just gotten another note this week from Sean Hardy on the Facebook page. The date is now being set for December 10th. December 10th. The venue still has not been set yet, but the target date is December the 10th, and it will benefit the Boys and Girls Club of Delaware. The lineup has not been set as of yet. I will keep you informed of that, but there will be a special guest appearance, and I just gotten this confirmed last week as well, a special guest appearance by Santa Claus. That's right, the man from the North Pole himself, Mr. Hardcore himself, Santa Claus, will be at this 1CW show in December. December 10th is the target date. I'll have more information about this in the very near future. As soon as I get it, you'll get it right here on the Rest 101 channel. Now, let's talk about a few things to get off my chest before I give you this spoiler alert. Karen Angle comes out there with a promo this week, her pep talk to the 4 Knockouts participants in the Knockouts title match. More specifically, she called Velvet Sky and our fans trash and scum, and that we're beneath her. Oh, really? Oh, really? We're scum. That's right, we're scum. Look at this t-shirt. It's not classy. It's not thrifty, nifty, or whatever you want to call it. We're trash, right, Karen? Oh, excuse me for your attitude problem, Karen. I ain't the one married into the business. I ain't the one with the pinky extended. You know, Velvet Sky shoved you down last week over top of Tracy Brooks, which was funny in a way. But I'll tell you one thing, you mess with Velvet Sky, my homegirl, man, you're going to get beaten alive Velvet's sick of it, and she's going to take you out. She's going to take you out, Karen. We're trash. We're scum. We're beneath you. Oh, excuse me. Won't you just kiss our asses? Please, just kiss our asses. There's a pimple there on my rear end. You want a target? Whatever. Please. The Karen Angle promo. Stupid. Oh, we're trash. You're trash. Oh, we're scum. You're even scummier. Kiss our rear ends. And I'll point to the pimple on my rear end. You can make a target out of it. Now, one more quick comment about John Laurinaitis as Raw GM, or the Interim Raw GM. Are you serious? Really? Are you absolutely serious with Road Warrior Animal's brother being the Interim Raw GM? I'm not going to be over this, people. I'm sorry. The only reason why John Laurinaitis got in this business was because he's Road Warrior Animal's brother. That is my opinion. I don't care about John Laurinaitis' Interim Raw GM. Like I said, who put the acid in the Kool-Aid? The guy comes out there and thinks he's all high-minded because he's Executive Vice President of Talent Relations. Whatever. You think that impresses me, Laurinaitis? It don't impress me not one dang bit. Now, finally, on this loaded Nitro update, a spoiler alert, so to speak, so if you don't want to hear this, fast forward through this, but for those of you who want to hear this, most recently on PWI-online.com, I took a look at the new edition of Pro Wrestling Illustrated. It will be out on November the 8th. Triple H is on the cover, and two big sections that I'm looking forward to reading. First, the Fatal 4-Way section, WWE versus TNA, or WWE Raw versus WWE SmackDown versus TNA versus Ring of Honor. That's a great section. I've always looked forward to that. It was a very good written articles or section on that. Make sure you read that. And also, it features the official ballot and nominations list for the 2011 PWI Achievement Awards, the most prestigious awards in professional wrestling today. And here at the Nitro Corner, in the very near future, don't be too surprised if I'm going to do a nomination special right here on the Wrestling Channel with my predictions for the Achievement Awards. So around November 8th would be the next issue of Pro Wrestling Illustrated with Triple H on the cover. Make sure you pick up your copy when it comes out. Excuse me. Well, that's it for this edition of the Nitro Corner. One more programming note. This Sunday, I am bringing it back once again. You know what time it is. It'll be time for the booking sheet for Bound for Glory. That will be Sunday here on the Rest 101 channel. Well, that's it for this edition of the Nitro Corner. Thank you so very much for joining me. My name is Paul, the Nitro Skivers. I'll see you next time for part 2 tomorrow, or so to speak. Until then, I'm Paul, the Nitro Skivers saying, so long, everybody.